Welcome again to Thursday Thoughts, and this week it's called Daily Resurrection. Now, it was a blessing to see many returning last weekend as we revisited and celebrated that once-for-all resurrection of Jesus. It's our hope and our confident expectation that the promise of Scripture will be realized, and those believing in Jesus for salvation will be raised with new bodies and raised into His presence. But there's a near-term promise related to the resurrection that we can sometimes overlook. Notice the prayer that Paul offered in his letter to the Ephesians. In the first chapter, verses 18 through 20, he says, "I pray that the eyes of your heart may be enlightened in order that you may know the hope to which He has called you, the riches of His glorious inheritance in His holy people, and His incomparably great power for us who believe." That power is the same as the mighty strength He exerted when He raised Christ from the dead and seated Him at His right hand in the heavenly places. Now, a song that we occasionally sing here at Crossroads has this two-line phrase in it. It says, "The same power that rolled the stone away, the same power alive in us today." That is a phenomenal promise and opportunity for us. Now, there's a lot of things that are upside down in life, a lot of things that we would like to put to death that seem to stay alive in us, and a lot of things that we'd like to have alive in us that may be kind of languishing and maybe in the grave. So there's things like the things that we regret, maybe things that we say and that we apologize for later, but we know that the hurt has already happened. We hoard things that could bless others, and I could go on with a list for a long time, but there are things that we wish we did do that we don't, and things that we wish we didn't do that we do. And so Scripture rightly tells us that those things that are not desirable, we should crucify, and those things that we ought to cultivate need to be cultivated and empowered. And Paul is praying and he's tapping into that idea that there is a supernatural resource of empowerment from God. And as God raised Jesus from the dead, God can overcome those dead effects in our regrets and make it possible for us to bring glory to Him and blessing to others that are in our lives. Now, the key example, obviously, is His death and resurrection, and putting that into practice every day. Just reminding ourselves and asking God, thanking God that His power is available to us. And we need to die to self-focused, self-directed habits and then choose to be other-centered in the rest of our life. Now, it's going to take patience. We will not always succeed. It'll take time to change our thinking about the truth that God gives us. And it takes humility because we're accustomed to putting self first in the place of priority. And it's going to take vision because the rewards and the benefits of this daily resurrection living are often realized after this life that we seem to be so focused on. So, our new series is called Building a Legacy, and it's about living out that daily resurrection and what God can do with that if we allow Him to empower us. It's viewing life in the light of eternity and acting on the priorities that transcend the grave. And so I hope you'll be able to join us either in person or online as we meet this weekend at 9 and 10:45 here in person. And then I would encourage you to sign up for that. And then in the meantime, let's all live out the daily resurrection. At some point early in your day, thank God that the power that raised Jesus from the dead can work in me today. And then let's go out and make it happen. God bless. Have a great week.